Thursday morning, the gospel today in Matthew it's just a great gospel, actually. But I'm going to say in the first reading, is the first letter Paul's to the Corinthians. I'm going to take that up tomorrow, okay? It's powerful stuff. You see the gospel engaging now the secular world, the Greek world of philosophy, the culture, the Corinthian culture. They're not Jews, they're Corinthians. And it's a confluence of both human genius and vanity and the humility of the cross. And that gives you Christianity. I'll show it to you tomorrow. It's neat. But today's the Gospel of Matthew. And I have to say, it strikes me. Okay, I'll share it with you. And it's something, a lesson you learn. I mentioned this the other day, that Christ comes to us at each moment, sometimes when you least expect it, in the moments of life. And here's what he says. Jesus said to his disciples, "Stay awake, for you do not know on which day the Lord will come." Now you might think of the Last Judgment, and I think that was probably floating around their head, but it is the moment of grace. Each moment is a moment of grace. "For you do not know on which day the Lord will come. Be sure of this, if the master of the house had known the hour of night when the thief was coming, it would have stayed awake, not let his house be broken into. So too you also must be prepared, for an hour you do not expect the Son of Man will come." Of course, they're thinking the Last Judgment to some extent. But as I said the other day, Last Judgment is every second. See? "Woe then to the faithful and prudent, Who then is the faithful and prudent servant, whom the master has put in charge of his household, to distribute to them their food in proper time? Blessed is that servant, whom his master on his arrival finds doing so. Amen, I say to you, he will put him in charge of all his property. But if that wicked servant says to himself, 'My master is long delayed,' and begins to beat his fellow servants and eat and drink with drunkards, that servant's master will come at an unexpected day and at an unknown hour and will punish him severely and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there'll be wailing and grinding of teeth." See? I remember, I think it's St. Francis. I don't know. He's got some of the best one-liners. He was working in the field, and I'm almost sure of this. I might have mentioned this before. I don't know. I don't have to tell what I say. But whatever the case, one of the brothers said to Brother Francis, "What would you do if you knew Christ was coming right at this moment? What would you do?" He said, "Keep doing what I'm doing," which just means he was plowing the field or whatever. "I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing." See? That's a great line. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Because what I'm doing is what I'm called to do. See? What I'm called to do. Not a clap of thunder and a hi-yo silver. Thank you, the Lone Ranger and Tonto. It's the everydayness of life is what is sacred. The beauty of Christianity is the immanence of Christ in the everydayness of life. That Christ comes to us every day as we pursue the best we can in our stumble-bum ways, the vocations we are called to, through the intimacy of love. You see? As we go through our marriages, as we live each day, you get up in the morning, you go to work. It's not the spectacular. It's the sacredness of the ordinary. And that's St. Francis working the field. Did he get up that morning and say, "Gee, I think Christ's going to come today"? He's going to keep working the field. And Christ comes to him in the working of the field, because that's what he ought to be doing, is working the field. Right? You think it would be better if he ran into the choir and started to prepare his prayers? No, he was right now. He had to take care of the other brothers, which was to work the field. So he worked the field. And think of that a lot. You see, it's the everydayness of life expectations. That's what's sacred and good. It's the everydayness. You see, because the everydayness is replete with eternity. Christ comes to us in the ordinariness of ordinariness. It's something like that. You see, just keep on working. Just keep doing. If I knew Christ would, I'm making this video. I'm going to keep making it. Why? Because that's what I think I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. Some of the parishioners say to me, "Gee, I get a lot out of it," something like that. I don't know why, but they say it to me. And when they say it to me, I think, "Gee, that in voce de Dio." That's, in a sense, it's important that I hear that. Because then I say, okay, I don't feel like doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Why? Because it enriches somebody else. See? I have to say that. I don't feel like doing these things. I do it, I don't. Okay, I'm glad to do them, but unless I'm lazy, I'm typically lazy. But then I think, okay, it seems to make a difference. I seem to be, I don't know how it ever came about. I didn't volunteer to do it. I think Father Hector invited me to do it, or somebody asked me to do it during the pandemic. And now it's become a pattern. And I hope apparently people watch this. You who are watching it now are enriched by it. Well, what am I doing? I keep on doing it. What? Because you asked me to keep on doing it. See? It's the ordinariness. Look at how I'm dressed. I got my old T-shirt on here. I was just out on my bike, just beginning to cool off. I don't wear a collar. I'm not doing it. I'm just sitting here in my red chair thinking about what this text means and sharing my thought with you. It's a good theological thought. I don't know. I hope so. I hope it's not blasphemous or heretical. I don't think so. See? I read the gospel. As the gospel speaks to me, I tell it and share it with you. Because we are all walking this thing together. We are walking this life together. Yeah, we are. You in your way, me and mine, are all together. Alle zusammen. All the way together, as the Germans say. See? We're all together. You do your thing, I'm doing mine. We share with each other. I learn as much from the people of the parish as the people ever would learn from me. I learned the immanence of grace and the power of God's love. I saw it in action. We're not in me, in the people of the parish. I saw God's redemptive love. For sometimes the guys that were really out, a good shepherd going after the lost sheep, I've seen that. I experienced it. I was the instrument, okay? Just the instrument. But I've seen that final grace. I've seen it. I'm a witness to it. So I saw God snatch him out of the palm. God snatched him out of that palm of the hand of the devil. I love that line in Dante. The devil complained to God, for one good act, you snatched him out of the palm of my hand. I've seen that. I've seen that. Where people who had really lived estranged lives, distant from the church, distant from the faith, God knows doing what and how and yet at the end, called to fidelity, and they trusted the divine mercy. They trusted the divine mercy. They didn't say they were innocent. They knew they were guilty. And yet they trusted the loving hand of God. And that hand was extended through me, by accident me. Maybe because I was no better than they were, and they kind of felt comfortable in my own crudity. Maybe my own vices turns out to be an instrument of grace. Why? Because I'm no better than they are. I know it, they know it, we know it. See? But in that case, in that very special way, maybe God used me because I was there for these last moments. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. There were graced moments, the greatest of my life, religiously speaking, in terms of ministry, that I got the chance to help God snatch out of the hands of the devil from very special souls. For one good act, snatched him out of the palm of my hand. That's from Dante. Dante's Purgatorio. Yeah, that's neat. See? And I think of this when I say, not the day nor the hour. I'm just one last analogy in the last minute here. I think of deer hunting. When you're sitting up in a tree for hour after hour after hour, and one fellow said to me, when you least expect it, he'll stand in front of you. When you least expect it. See, maybe God's like the deer. He shows up when he's ready to show up, and it's a moment of grace and life and beauty. Just this morning, I forgot where I was. 3 deer came running around. I was at George Winter Park. I was with Lily. I was at George Winter Park with my dog running, and all of a sudden, 3 deer bolted across in front of me. They were beautiful. And some guy came by in a pickup truck. And I said, that was worth the price of admission, wasn't it? And he said, sure it was. Just sheer graceful beauty. And Lily, of course, said, gee, looks like fun. Let me chase them. No, Lil. Let their beauty transcend you. You are not chasing the deer. They were beautiful. They were young deer. They were out of spots, but I don't think they were too old. I don't think they were fully grown. But they were really on the move. They were beautiful when you least expect it. See? That's the gospel. That's Christ. When you least expect it. When life asks you to see. And in life's moment of seeing, you embrace Christ. The Spirit is within you.